These are the biggest chipping mistakes for club golfers. The setup, the feeling and the technique, and finally, the one that drives me absolutely crazy, club selection. So we've got to get the wrists not to open, we've got to feel they work back and through, underarm throw. I mean, why have you chosen that club? We've just got to avoid that. Like, that is just a recipe for disaster. So yes guys, we're gonna go through this in an order. We're gonna talk about how we stand to the golf club better, the technique we want to use, and then finally, the club selection and how we actually identify that out on the golf course. I think that's one of the hardest things, right? Yeah. Identifying the club selection. Yeah. I actually think, in my opinion on this, I think that stems to a lot of problems when people are chipping. Yeah, 100%. It's sort of like falling at the first hurdle, isn't it? Really? Definitely. Okay, so setup. Talk me through the setup, because I think you actually set up to it quite well, but a lot of people don't. That is why we're actually bringing it up right now. So talk me through how you go for a setup. We're just 2 or 3 yards off the fringe here. We've got a shot nicely down towards the flag, as you can see from the down the line perspective. Now, this is what we face. So talk me through the setup. So I'd go ball pretty much in the middle of my stance. Yep. Then I want to open my hips up a little bit by bringing my left foot back. Yep. Address the ball, because that just allows me, it's a lot easier to swing through as opposed to getting a little bit stuck in here. It just makes it a lot easier. So you feel you can turn through to target a little bit easier? So whereas in like a longer iron shot, part of the motion is opening your hips. Yep. You've not got the time to do that. Yep. So it just starts by starting off a little bit open, which makes it a lot easier to get through the ball. Good, so let's flip down the line perspective and we'll look at this a little bit more detail. I absolutely love that, Josh, so just do that again for us. So if you think here, set up, want the shoulders to point to target, the hips to be slightly open. This really allows us to get that feeling of being able to underarm throw it, and I like the bit where you said, like in the long game, you want these hips to be open, because at the end of the day, that's what people find it hard to do. It's like a little hack, a little cheat. Like 100%. Open up early because you've not got the big long swing to get your hips opening. Okay, perfect, brilliant. So checkpoints there, feeling that the shoulders to target, hips slightly open, and it feels like you can get that weight going left. Now, do you have the weight favouring the left to begin with? Yeah, so I have everything throughout the whole swing really. I want my weight on the left hand side, because otherwise I'm sort of opening myself up to knife the ball and catch it with the bottom of the club. Having the weight on the left and those hips open just make it a lot easier to get a good contact on the ball. You just wanted to take another one there, guys, because he's chipping well. Okay, right. Pause that right there. Let's think about ball position. Let's talk about ball position now, Josh. Where are you feeling this for your standard shot? Because I find a lot of people that come to the lesson team, now I know you've watched me chip a few times, I'm not saying I'm the best chipper in the world, but the fact that a lot of people get this ball back. Now, I want to say, caveat to this, there is times and a place where we do want to get it back in our stance, but where do you feel for a, in inverted commas, if there is ever a standard chip, of your kind of baseline technique, where do you keep that ball position? I just want it realistically in the middle, if not a little bit forward, but more than like central. I used to be one of them, out at the back of my stand. Digger. Digger. Okay, and don't want to do that. I don't even know where it came from or why I did that. You know what though, I think it's like a myth. I used to do it. I was told, yeah, get loads of check, put it back, hit down on it. All you'd actually do is just fire it out really low. You don't tend to get that lot of check on it. No. You actually got more chance of getting that check on it with it more towards the middle of our stance. So really good. Okay, we'll let him hit another one away. Guys, just before Josh hits this away, do comment down below what your favourite wedge is to play with. Now, what's your go-to wedge here? Well, it's just a sand wedge 54 degree. 54 degree, but I think that's probably your go-to club around the greens. Around here, the green, yeah, definitely. So I want you to comment down below your go-to club right now. So pause the video, comment it down below. Let's hear what your go-to club is. And I want you to do that because later on in the video, we're going to get people to comment down below again and be like, has that changed? Go on, chip this one away again. Technique now, point number 2, we've covered number 1. I want to just get into these wrists in the swing. So what I want you to feel is, Josh, if you just grab the club on the steel, I don't want you to make swings where the palm works back towards the camera. We don't want to see that, because look what that does to your face. What does that do to that? Opens it up. Opens it up, which tends to not be a terrible thing. Other things that people do is really de-loft this club, so really take the loft off the club and get that leading edge digging in. I want to feel in the technique this. Can the leading edge not be our working factor here? Can we get the back edge to feel like it brushes the ground? Now, my way of doing that is to feel as though our right palm works like this.
almost like an opening and closing door a little bit. So like this, it's almost like back, hold and through. So I'd be back and turn through. So down towards a golf ball now, if I was down here, Josh, back, get the back edge digging in. Get the back edge to dig and brush. Back edge to dig and brush. So your setup, actually what Josh mentioned earlier, will help him do this, and it will help you do this if you try this. So just jump in there, Josh, for us. Shows that takeaway in the backswing. So good. So club works outside the hands. A little bit of a softness of this wrist. Back, hold the angle, underarm, throw it through. So everything's staying pretty constant here, isn't it? These aren't breaking down. These aren't bending. It's not arms doing the job. You've got a nice blend of arms and body.
Yeah, and for me, the way I would relate this is everyone's been watching Bryson talk about Bryson, and he's, even with all his clubs, but he's so like stiff, and it's a similar feel.
I think you're 100% right there. If someone could take 1% of Bryson and add it into their chipping, make it a little bit more constant with this triangle back, a little bit of softness in the wrists, hold it and turn through, get that back edge lead in the way, that is great.
And the key as well is it's not necessarily stiff and like you tense, but it's more of a, like you said, softness, but just feel like as if you're just going to throw the ball.
It would like this, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
Exactly.
And all over the place. Right, okay, Josh, sit this one away for me. Lovely. So I want you just to do that again for me, and just to illustrate this to everybody watching right now, we're going to pause Josh at the backswing. So do this for me, Josh. So swing it back, I want you to pause. So look how this is really nice and constant. This is not broken down. This is soft but not locked out. And then nice little bit of cupping of the back wrist. This works down into the golf ball. Hands are matched back up at impact on the way through. The right palm is towards target, and again, these are nice and extended, not locked out, but not bent.
Yeah.
Okay, one more for us. Then you want to stick around for this final point, guys, because this is all about where we're going wrong with club selection, and it's something he does all the time. Even though he's a good chipper, it's something he does all the time.
Throw me under the bus again.
Get under there, lad. I mean, that's pure. I mean, look at that, Josh. You've hit down. He's at the flag again. Look at this. This is why the back edge is so key. This is why that technique is so key. You won't know you've been there. You've not cut that thin. You've got the ground. You've got that nice thud, but you've not taken a big divot.
Yeah, and I suppose around this time of year it's good because you can see on the ground where you're leaving that mark. And it is literally that brushing feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Club selection rules. Now this is a prime example.
Yes.
We're up to a par 5 in 3. We've missed the green just there, trying to get up and down for our par, or we've missed a short par 4 in 2 and we're trying to get this up and down. Now I think this is the area of the game where it's so overlooked. No matter if your age, your ability, if you can master some chipping or get a shot that you trust, well, you said before, like it can really help you play game.
It's changed my game. My scores are staying low because I'm more confident around the green.
Yeah.
And I know that I can trust myself to play that shot.
Right guys, before we move on to this part of the video, make sure number one, you go and follow Kinder on Instagram. I'll leave his handle just above his head right now and down below, so make sure you head over to his Instagram page, Quest for Scratch, and I'm joking. He has got a very good chance of doing that, so do follow that story. Now we're going to get into this, but make sure if you are enjoying this channel, guys, I would really appreciate it if you did hit that big red subscribe button and turn the bell notification on. Let's get into the final part of this video. Remember, I asked you a question about what club selection you used before, and does this change now? So you know what I like to do here, Josh? We're talking about landing zones. So we're going to forget the flag right now. I want us to get into a habit of doing this, getting a landing zone 3 to 5 yards on, or the first available flat spot, and matching it up with what trajectory would you have to underarm throw that ball to get it to roll out to the flag. Because is it easier to land that ball there and let it roll out, or try and throw it all the way to the flag, spin it and stop it?
Well, it's obviously easy to land it short and roll it up. We're not all going to be able to play it like a pro.
But you know what, this is, you know, that just pause right there, because I actually think pros will play it more like this.
What do you think?
I actually think it's a bit of a myth where pros throw it all the way there, check and stop, and it's a little bit of a myth of the game. Like after caddying out on tour and seeing that, they would try and play it the easiest option, or the option that gets the ball rolling out more, because if you're putting, the ball's rolling, you've got more chance of holding it.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to feel. So when we grab the club, I want you to get that ball there, Josh, and I want you to underarm throw it. So throw it into that area and get it rolled out like a putt. And what trajectory would that feel to match it?
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on here, testing his skills. Oh, it's an absolutely abysmal throw.
Sure, it's not ended too bad though.
Not ended too bad, but it's okay, do it again for me. Do it again. And this is where the test fails, because Josh can't throw a ball into the thing. Final number 3. Much better. So look at that, landed in there, rolled out like a putt. What a trajectory. Now, I know you've got your 54 here, and I think that's going to be the right club, but if everybody could go through those rules, go through that whole sequence, I actually think they wouldn't just walk up to a chip, automatically think, yeah, that's the club, I'll try that, and go to almost their go-to club every time. They'd actually get into a situation where they let the shot dictate the club.
Yeah.
So the technique, the setup stays the same, you change the club to adjust what trajectory you would have to underarm throw it. So if it had to go a bit higher, we choose a little bit more loft.
Yeah.
Had to go a bit lower, we choose a little bit less loft.
Yeah.
Okay, proof's in the pudding here, Josh.
Yeah.
I want you to...
The one thing with this though as well is that you paced it out and went and seen where you have to hit it to. That's helped me massively. Going to where I need to hit the ball to judge that distance, and that'll then help with cup.
It's mad this. If you're driving on a journey, you have a much better perception of distance when you've done it, right? Same thing here. If you actually walk it, you have a much better perception of distance. Okay, chip this one away. Thank you so much for watching this simple breakdown of the most common mistakes. So that's some setup, that's in technique, and club selection. So I asked you at the start of the video, what was your favourite club? Josh went 54. Now actually, this shot here was perfect for 54. But what would be your favourite club now? Hopefully your answer is, none of them. I love all my wedges. That is what I want you to say to me. So guys, do have some fun, do comment down below. I really appreciate to hear how you're getting on with your game, so please do share that down below. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at the same time.